Okay. We're okay. We are live, so I can edit out the little bit. But so hey everybody,
Awesome.
we are doing something a little bit different today. We are actually recording because life kind of gets crazy, and we couldn't go live on Wednesday as we normally do. But we are here, and we are recording on Tuesday. But you will all see this on Wednesday, so it's a little bit weird. I haven't done this before, but we'll see how
It's
this
all
works.
good. Hey,
And
everybody. Yeah, and thank you so much for accommodating me, Warren.
yeah,
Thank you
no, no, no.
for making this all happen so we could still have our show out on
Well,
Wednesdays.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's important, right? I think the other Susie and I did a
Mhm.
call earlier today because we're going to try to do a call next week, and we're talking about just life and how it gets in
Yeah.
the way, and how you just have to, we were talking about where we were in our careers and where we're going and what life is going to do for us and what we want.
Mhm.
And what I said to her is, every day is something. Every
Yeah.
day is something different. And so for me, I just have to block out a window of time and say, this is my time. And no matter what happens, unless someone's like sick, it can
Yeah.
wait. Work can
Mhm.
wait. Sandra can wait. Kyle can wait. Brent, like everybody can wait because you need your space. You need your bubble. You need
Yes.
your boundaries, right? And so this to me is my boundary. This is I close the door, coming down to the basement, leave me alone. When I
Right.
come
Your
upstairs,
time.
I'm done.
Right.
And but and we all need it. And I know you've been going through so much,
Yeah.
um and hopefully this is kind of
This is my
your bubble
outlet.
too.
It's like
Yeah.
my outlet. It's my safe space right now. I'm already feeling emotional, right? Like it's holiday time, first of all, which is emotional for me.
Right. Yep.
I lost 2 more friends that I grew up with this last week, and I had to jump on a show the other night, and that's my outlet, my happy place, and it was a little bit difficult for me, I'm not gonna lie, because my mind was still in the headspace of talking to a friend who just lost her husband,
Right.
okay?
Yep.
And it was a tragic situation, but life goes on. I wanna support and help people, but I also have to self-care, like we were
Right.
talking about, okay? Like, take care of me, but to shut down and do nothing, I think is the worst thing for me personally.
Right. Yeah.
I
Eh,
must keep going
yeah.
and
Because
push through.
if you don't push through and you let it consume you, it takes you into a really, really bad place. So keeping ourselves focused and just locking in on something, whatever it happens to be, I think
Mhm.
is really important. I think these shows, and you're doing so many great things with Susie and with Crystal and with Amber. I mean, you've got this, and I think what you're going to be doing with your like Friday Night Girls thing is
Yeah.
kind of cool, right? So whatever it is, whatever gets you out of your space is
Mhm.
so important. And I can be having a really bad day,
Mhm.
and I'll come down and I'll either write or I'll
Mhm.
record something, and it just kind of frees my mind. Like
It's a release.
it is for like
Yeah.
that hour or whatever time I'm down here. I don't think about anything else, and I
Right.
come back upstairs and I'm in a different mindset. And I think
Yes.
that's kind of what it is, right? Is resetting your mind so that you don't feel as overwhelmed as you did.
You
And
don't go
now,
back to the same programming.
yeah, you
I
don't.
don't fall backwards. I don't go back on repeat where my mind just goes to the negative.
Yep.
And even technical difficulties, okay? Because 'Cause I'm
Right.
not the best with computers. It's
No.
no everyone knows I'm really learning, and it's difficult for me. It's overwhelming. But when something goes wrong, I'm like, "Oh, what'd I do wrong?" My mind
Right.
immediately goes to, "It's my fault. What
It's
I
your
do?
fault.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I screwed up. Now I can't do this." And it's terrible. It's I'm working so hard on improving my thought process about myself and realizing, "Hey, I'm learning." Everyone
It's a
understands.
win, right? You got it working. It's a win. That
Yeah, like, we did it, and thank you for the
you did,
patience, to help me get through it because I get overwhelmed.
but you don't quit. The big
Never,
thing is, Susie,
never.
you
I
don't
never
quit,
quit.
and people need to understand that, right? So many people just go, "To hell with it, I can't do it, I'm done," and they
Yeah.
walk away, and it's not just technical stuff. It's just life in general. Something doesn't go well and they just crash and burn.
I work with a lot of people, okay? Not just women, actually. I work with men as well on the
Yep.
side. I always have. Just being there, being a friend, being someone to talk to, encouraging, helping people out, whatever. This is what I've done my entire life.
Yep.
I just never knew what I was doing. Um, and yeah, it's like at the end of every conversation, I'll let people vent, and I'm like, look, just keep going.
Right.
There's no excuse. You just let it out, okay? Vent it all on me. You can vomit it all on me,
Right.
and I've learned how to, like, take it, understand it, kinda decipher what needs to be, worked on,
And let
and
it go.
then give it back,
Yep.
in a positive way and in a constructive way for them to have something to move forward, even if it's just to get through that night or tomorrow.
Right.
Or pass along some information. One woman yesterday, I just passed along the women's group phone number because this was a lot for me to deal with.
Yep.
And I can't there's certain things I can help with and certain things I can't.
You can't.
But passing along the numbers and then being there for the next time. You wanna meet for coffee? Here we go.
Here you go. Yep.
So, yeah, I never realized that self-care was not just caring for others. I always thought I was doing good by helping everyone else. It's my mental health.
Absolutely. It's your mental health.
I always thought it was selfish to have self-care or to care about yourself more than others, and I was 100% wrong. It's a complete 180.
It's a 180. I tell people all the time that's such a I can't believe you just brought that up.
Mhm.
I said, selfish, if you have to be
Ooh, I get
selfish
goosebumps.
in order to help other people, because if you aren't taking care of you, if you
Mhm.
aren't whole, you can't possibly give to other people because you're not in a position to do that. So
Yeah.
s
Can
being selfish has such a negative connotation, but
Right.
it's probably the most important thing you can do is to practice that.
I truly believe what I'm learning in the last couple months and taking care of myself and, all my growth and all that, and all the help from everyone. Having self-care or learning self-care is probably the most selfless thing I've ever done.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom. There you go. That could be your
That's
new
it.
tagline.
And it's that simple. And
It
who
is.
knew?
Who knew, right?
Who
It's
knew?
not that complicated.
I thought I had to run around and do everything for everyone.
No.
And that's caring and loving and, "Oh, I'm a good person." No, I
No.
had it twisted.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing once you break through, and this is what I'm starting to tell everyone, is that it's baby steps, right? Baby steps. We get away from the person. We start putting up our boundaries, caring for ourselves. And then once you start taking those baby steps, then you start like leaps and bounds, baby. You
Yeah.
just start flowing into the healing, into the progress, and it's like you look back, whoa,
Oh,
I can't believe I was just back there.
yeah.
How did I get here? But you're there.
So now it's funny because you said baby steps, then leaps and bounds.
Mhm.
Most people go baby steps, then bigger steps and bigger steps. And then you went
Boom.
bam.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
there was no in between. We went from here, like to, 0 to 60. You were just bam
I
off and
feel
running.
like I've been waiting.
Right.
Something in me, like Dr. Mack, my psychiatrist says, like, there was always I said, "How did I do? How did I make it out? Like, seriously, how am I alive?" He's like, "There
Yep.
was always that spark, Susie.
Yep.
You just had to ignite it. And once that spark was lit, I feel like I'm on fire.
Yeah.
I almost have to control my excitement for my future right now,
Right. Because
and I want everybody to feel that.
yeah, your future is boundless,
All of our futures are boundless.
or they're boundless.
Everyone has this inside of them. We
Yeah.
just have to help rub off the dirt. I feel like we've all been buried a little bit.
But I think a lot of people are terrified by that. They're
Oh, I was
terrified
terrified.
to right? I mean, what
Mhm.
if? Like, oh my I always used to say
Scary.
that I was, like, comfortably miserable,
Numb.
right?
Yeah. Just stuck on
Stuck,
stupid. That's what I used to say.
right? Because as bad as it was, that you knew what to expect.
Mhm.
But when you step out of that comfort zone, it's a whole new, and you don't know what to expect, and you have to
Right.
manage that, and that could be scary, but it's the best thing ever.
And the scary thing is when you do have children, you realize even though you don't process the whole, like, "Oh my gosh, it was bigger than I thought." The reaction of everyone in the family, it affects everyone.
Everyone.
Everybody's life
Yes.
gets turned upside down, not
Yes.
just yours. So
Right.
taking on that responsibility for
It's
your
huge.
own self sanity, your self-care, your self-love is a big responsibility. But in turn, like I always say, just follow my lead.
Yeah.
That's all I tell them. Follow my lead
I mean, you're like the
because we're all
pinnacle of the
healing.
story. I mean, if you could do it, Susie, and come
Anyone.
from where you came from to where you are, there's no one has an excuse. There's not a
Lauren,
person.
what you all know and what I've shared on NATV thus far is
Is a
10% of
fraction.
my
Yeah.
life.
Right.
You have wait till the book.
Right.
Just wait.
Oh,
You have no idea. I scare myself sometimes when I think back. And the coolest thing about all this is now that I'm healing, I'm contacting reconnecting with old family members that I haven't
yep.
seen in 40 years, old friends, I was telling you. And they're telling me I was on the phone last night with a friend of mine. We're meeting up. That's another surprise, like something exciting happened. I have all this
Yep.
good stuff coming up. And he's like, "Susie, you were always fearless." And I'm like, "Wow, you remember me like, what was I like?" And then I said to him, I'm like, "No, no, no. Wait till we're together. I want
Right.
you to tell me when we're together because everyone keeps telling me who I was as a teenager, as a little girl, as a 20-year-old, when I got into my first marriage." And I'm like, it's almost like somebody's, like, pulled the curtains
Curtain
back.
back. Yeah.
And I get to see who Susie was, so
Right.
I can take all those little bits and pieces of what they remember about me
Yep.
and put it together with who I am now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
bad circumstances, but that's gonna help me go forward in my
Absolutely.
future. It's like all the missing links are coming
Oh,
together.
they're all
It's
coming together now.
crazy. You cannot make this stuff up. You
No,
cannot make it up.
you can't make it up, especially for
No,
your stuff. No, there's no way you
it's
can
like
make it up.
magical.
Yeah.
It's the biggest blessing. Talk about gratitude
Well, yeah, we talk about that
every
constantly.
day. Yeah.
Gratitude. We got our headphones and microphones working. I'm grateful for
That's it, I'm grateful.
it.
Right? It's the little things.
Susie, but before I'd go, I would view that as, "Oh my god, why didn't it work? Like, what the heck?"
Mhm,
And
mhm.
now it's like, "Oh my god, it worked, and now we're here doing this."
Yeah,
So it's how you frame it, right? It's just
yeah.
how you look at stuff.
But it's also being once you kind of get out of the negative, your the repeat in your mind and
Yep,
and we move forward and we start attracting because our minds are more positive, we attract more positive people
yep,
like all of us together.
right.
And what do we both do? We both supported each other. You helped me. I'm like,
Yep,
"Okay, let's try this." You were patient with me. Of course, I'm patient with you because I don't know
yeah.
what I'm doing, but I'm just saying, like, it's teamwork.
It's teamwork, right? You're part of a
And
team.
back in the day, being with someone who was abusive to me, whatever, it would have been an all-out war,
Right, war.
right? The
Yep,
whole damn
right.
day would have been shot and probably the rest of the week, at least 2 days later,
Yep,
completely shot
and
because
now it's
we
just,
couldn't
"Let's
get that
go." Yeah,
that headphone to work. Wow, I
now I
just
get that.
no, seriously, right? Can you feel
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh, the energy it's so much different,
It's
so much
like,
better. Yeah.
oh my gosh, forget it. Jeez, oh my gosh, that just, like, brought back so many memories of the silliest things.
But
The
that's
ice maker didn't, like, push the ice out fast enough.
yep,
Problem, boom,
boom.
catastrophe. It's
And
amazing.
it's never it's n and when it finally works, it's never a win, right? It's just, "Why did it take that long?"
Yeah, oh, then it's still a
Imagine what it could've
problem.
been. Yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's a blame game.
right.
And then they'll bring it up. And then, they'll just keep it in their back pocket for the next time something's wrong. "Yeah, now you can't do this, you couldn't
They
do
can't
that
do
either."
this, right.
Or that didn't turn out, or here we go again.
But now we go back to Paxton or wherever, and we go, "Hey, look, it didn't work, but we fixed it. Look
Yeah,
at how cool we are." I mean,
right. It's
we
so
can do
cool.
this stuff. It's cool,
And yeah. And he's
right?
got the patience of a saint, that man, I'll tell
Yeah,
you.
he does.
He's
He really
wonderful.
does.
Thank goodness. Thank you,
Alright,
Paxton.
so I'm gonna shift gears
Go
for a
for it.
second and then go
Mhm.
Do you always wear a hat? Do you always wear
Um, okay, so I have this first of all, it's cold up here in Connecticut,
Yeah.
okay?
Yep.
Um, I have, like, it almost is like my like a little kid has a blanket?
Mhm. Like
That's
your
like my
security
safety.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm, it's my security. Um, I feel safe when I'm feeling see, like, when I didn't feel well for the last couple weeks, I had that
Yep.
cold, I
Yep.
had to keep my hat on. Sometimes if I'm really feeling insecure or still working on, like, old feelings coming back of being put down, or I feel like I'm not good enough and all those memories,
Yep.
I sleep in it
I was gonna say, do you sleep in it?
sometimes. But today, like I said, I had a really rough week, and
Right.
it's funny because when I did the show the other day, I didn't wear my beanie. And I needed my beanie. I know it sounds like I'm a two-year-old, but what I mean, some people smoke cigarettes, some drink
Right.
coffee. I was sucking down Red Bull. I mean, it's like my little I don't know, my
Yeah. No,
little
but it's
comfort
important.
thing,
Yeah.
some people chew gum, mine is the beanie, and I have, like, every color
I was
and
gonna say, so you have a ton of shoes. Do you have a ton of beanies?
ton of beanies, ton of shoes, yep. Converse, Uggs, and beanies.
I
That's
saw
my
something
thing.
about Converse the other day. You got new ones?
Oh my gosh, wait, hold on. They're
There.
vinyl. They are vinyl, baby. Yeah, I love
It's
them
a
because the cloth ones, like, get, dirty quicker, so I
yeah.
spray them down and, oh, they're so comfortable. Because I'm 5'10", so my
Yeah, oh,
thing is
yeah.
Converse and Uggs, and then flip-flops in the summer. So,
Believe
yeah.
me, when we walked into the library and I went, "Wow, she's, like, way
Oh,
taller than
there
me."
she
I
is.
"Oh."
Yeah, but how tall are you?
More like 5'8.5" or 5'9" or
Alright, I'm
something
only
like yeah.
but I probably had, like, a little shoe on or a
But
boot or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
So but that's all it takes, and I'm, like, 6 foot, yeah.
Right?
My sons are 6 foot and 6'3".
Okay.
So, yeah, my father's side of the family is tall. Actually, the men on my mother's side is the Italian side, they're pretty tall too, they're all over 6 foot.
Oh, well, there you
So,
go.
there
You
you
could
go,
be
yeah.
on basketball team.
There you go. Nobody plays basketball, it was
Really?
baseball. My
Oh,
family was
okay.
all baseball.
So
Yeah.
your kids played, like, high school sports?
My grandfather actually played baseball with Babe Ruth. He was
Really?
my grandfather and his brother,
Yep.
they moved over from Italy as babies. They moved to Brooklyn. My great-grandfather was a butcher, and my grandfather and his brother both, were on the Brooklyn Dodgers. It was Brooklyn Dodgers back then,
Yep.
not California, and they
Right.
were on the farm team. And I have all the
Wow.
pictures of them with
That's
Babe Ruth.
very cool.
My
Wow.
grandfather was a catcher, and my Uncle Richard was a pitcher.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they both decided not to do it, and they said what do they call the guys that go out and get all the baseball players?
Oh,
Ugh,
the,
I can't think of the word, but, like, the
yeah.
guys that are in charge of, like, putting the
Right,
teams
you were
together and the scouts,
the
whatever you call
scouts,
them.
yeah, yeah.
They couldn't understand why both of my grandfather and his brother, they did especially my grandfather, who was really good, that he didn't wanna do it because he wanted to get married, and he knew that was no life for my grandmother.
Right. Yeah,
So,
always traveling, yep.
yeah, I still have his baseball mitt. Yeah, like, from what was this,
Wow.
1940s?
Yeah.
It was way back. Yeah,
Wow.
had to be 40s. Yeah, cool stuff,
That's
right?
very cool collectible stuff.
Really cool stuff.
Wow.
So, my older son still I remember when he was 5 years old, my grandfather bought him his first bat, of course, and his mitt. He bought us all
Yep.
a mitt. I played too. And he whacked that ball over the house. And to this day, you could pitch that kid a ball. He's 35 now, and gone, gone, gone.
Wow.
It's, like, amazing.
That's
It's just
cool.
in his
That's
blood.
great.
Yeah, my youngest son played too, so but they played all sports. Did your boys play sports?
So and they played like the little league stuff. My
Mhm.
older son didn't do a lot, but my younger son swam
Okay.
for 3 years in high
That's
school.
cool.
He was like he's tiny, he's like 145 pounds. He's like my height, but he's just
Mhm.
and now he runs. So and both of them are actually runners now, which is and they want me to run. I'm like, I can do a lot of things. I'm not running.
I go to
That
the
ain't
gym,
happening.
that's
I go
enough.
to the gym. I'm not
Yeah.
running. But when Kyle swam, because they swam like 6 days a week,
Mhm.
like, he would pick up his arms and his back was,
Oh, they're
like,
fit as a
so
fiddle,
ripped.
swimmers.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Who are
Damn,
you?"
that's
And
cool.
then he didn't do a lot for a bunch of years, then he got into cycling, and now he's running, so he's way more athletic than my older son, but
Right. But that's
he it
great.
was yeah, no, it's great, and they're doing half marathons now, and they're
Nice.
where'd this come from? Like, I
I know.
completely out of the blue, they just said, "Ah, we're gonna start running."
That's
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
My
Kyle actually works with a guy, who was in this, band. He was, like, all over the world, like, really famous guy.
Mhm.
The guy works in the bike shop. He's, like, 75 years old. He's running the Boston Marathon in April,
Cool.
and he's doing in June 100 miles in 33-hour challenge,
Wow.
and he's 74 years old. It's
Wow.
like, God
That's
bless you, man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk about mindset. There you go. He's like,
Yeah.
I can do this."
It's all in your mind.
It's all in your mind.
Everything.
Everything.
Yep.
Alright, so before we go, 3
Mhm.
things
Mhm.
that are critical to self-care.
Oh, 3 things, 3 things, 3 things. Realizing it's not selfish to take care of yourself.
Yep.
Um, Definitely for me, self-care is taking care of my mental health. And people always think it's taking care of yourself or what you wear or the superficial things. No.
Right.
Self-care to me is my mental health. It's not selfish and allowing myself to be happy regardless of what anyone
Yep.
thinks, says, does, acts, how they behave around me, removing myself from a situation, whatever.
Yep.
Doing what makes me happy. How about for you?
Does I was just gonna ask real quick, and then we're
Mhm,
gonna be
mhm.
does food play a part in self-care for you?
Yes, yes. I just gained 25 pounds.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was so skinny. I
Oh,
mean, I'm
yeah.
5'10", okay? So I was like 135 pounds. That's skinny for 5'10",
It is, it's very skinny
and I'm
for
small
5'10", yeah.
boned. So now I'm like, "Okay." Well, when I was with certain people, they were like, "How much do you weigh today?" Every day, "How much do you
Oh
weigh?" I
god.
would weigh my you have no idea. That's a whole other episode. So I broke that, you know,
Yep,
that pattern of whatever the heck it was. So now, yeah, I eat and I actually retain the weight. So,
and you enjoy food now.
yeah, like I just
Yeah,
had some pineapple today. It was so
yep.
good. Like I get excited. I go out to restaurants all the time. I get invited out and I'll go out and I'm like, "Oh, so good." So
So, favorite food?
Definitely Italian food, just because I'm Italian, I don't know. I used to be picky, kinda like Sandra, but and I try things now. The only thing I will not ever, ever, ever eat, ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise. Never.
Really? Oh my
Anything
god.
else, I will taste. Or tuna, will not. I just can't. Yeah. But
Mustard
I've been
mayo, wow,
ketchup,
okay.
never. Mm-mm. I just can't.
So, if you eat a hot dog, it's just
Mm,
plain?
mm-mm,
You don't do
mm.
hot dogs?
I'll have maybe once a year, but no. No,
Wow.
no, 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 no.
Alright,
Yeah, the
so you're Italian.
mhm,
You do you when you go to Italian restaurant, so you
mhm.
must critique it, right, versus what you know, like, so or do you not critique it compared to
I go to the ones that I know are good. How's
okay,
that? Yeah, definitely, and I'll only eat seafood if it's in, like, a really good restaurant.
yeah,
Otherwise, I just won't go there.
that
I
okay.
can't. Yeah.
So so do you do, like, shellfish, like
I'll do
clams and oysters?
lobster, clams sometimes, shrimp, yeah.
Okay.
Certain fish, like grouper, like if I'm down in the Keys or something,
Yep.
like that kinda stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. More like
Okay.
the white fish.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think for me, I think setting boundaries is
Mhm.
really important for me, and just walking away from situations, and but I walk away from them till I calm my mind down,
Mhm.
and then I go into the situation because the old me used to just react,
Right.
and that gets you in so much trouble when you just react, and so now I just, like, I need 10 minutes, or
Mhm.
you know, and then I clear my mind, I think about it. Sometimes I'll even write out my thoughts, and then I go,
Mhm.
"Okay, I got it," and then I'll go back up, whatever it is, and then I'll handle even at work.
Yeah,
"You know what? I'll call you back because I
right.
don't wanna get into this conversation," and I think for me, that's a lot of self-care because it got me in so much trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you just
Absolutely.
react, it just oh my god, it was like the worst possible thing.
It gets us in trouble in our own heads.
It
It's
does.
not even
Oh,
like you get in trouble at work or with someone or you cause an argument or a fight. Like, it messes us up if we don't give ourselves time to process something,
yeah,
instead of react.
and
'Cause
then
I was the same way.
I always I used to, and I don't as much anymore, make assumptions about situations, why things
Mm,
are,
I do that.
right? And you just make these terrible you expect the worst, and
Mhm,
so you set your mind up for the worst, and then you realize, well, that wasn't really necessarily the case, or there
right.
was some other reason for it that you shouldn't I shouldn't have justified it
Jumped
that way,
on or yeah.
right? I
Almost
just
like paranoia to a little
yeah,
bit. Yeah,
yeah,
I used to
right?
get like that badly. Now I can, like, catch it, like, "Stop. This is
Stop.
ridiculous." Yeah.
Yeah,
Come
and I
on.
think that's really important to be able to do that and just
Mhm.
back away and just
That's a good one.
pause. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
definite.
I think for me and then it's obviously it's going to the gym and it's changing my diet and
Right.
just stop being lazy. And
Yeah,
sometimes lazy is okay, right? I'm not
right.
saying that you shouldn't be lazy. Everybody needs a you day, right?
Mhm,
You do. Everyone
mhm.
needs it, and sometimes it could be a work day, and then you have to figure out kind of how to just make some time for yourself, and it could be at the end of the day. I mean, my mornings usually start at the gym, so that's kind of my me time, but
Yeah.
there are weekends I just like people say, "What do you wanna do today?" I'm like, "I don't wanna do a darn
Nothing.
thing. I just
I'm
wanna
doing
sit on the couch and
nothing.
be useless today." And
Yep.
and then there are people who say, "Well, you shouldn't. That's just wasting time, and you should,
Mm-mm. That's
no,
taking care of yourself. That I learned too.
you have to set time away."
No more guilt. That's a major
There you go.
self-care.
There
No
you go.
more
No
guilt.
guilt, right?
Boom. That's it.
Guilt and regret. I think those 2 are
Yep.
kinda synonymous with each other because
Agreed.
until I was able to let go of regret, man, it can
Mhm.
really mess with your head. When you
Yeah.
can't let it go, and man, but you have to, and it took me years and years and years and
Oh,
years
yeah.
to figure that out.
Yep. This stuff
But
doesn't happen overnight, but we've done the work.
yeah, but and that's a great point, right? Is it doesn't happen overnight.
Mhm.
It takes time, and you have to be patient, and
It's
you have
another
to
good
be
one, having
yeah,
patience with yourself.
yeah.
We really need to be patient with ourselves.
Because if not, then you get overwhelmed by the whole situation. So
Right.
you just have to give yourself some peace and know that it's okay. And
Yeah.
you're human, right? We all make mistakes. We all screw up. And I used to take it so personally, like, oh my
Mhm.
God, why am I so terrible? Like, what the hell's wrong with like and
Yep.
now it's just
Same.
like and
It's
then
like,
part
"Oh,
of
well,
yeah, and I mean,
tomorrow's another day. Try again."
and you're dealing with grown-ups in a lot of situations. It's like, "Why is it on me?" Like,
Yeah.
why is it just me? Like, step up and do it stop,
Right, yeah. Because, for me, I always took the blame. I was always the scapegoat, you
Right.
know? It was just
Yeah.
easier. "Alright, I did it. Whatever. My
What
fault.
whatever,
Whatever."
yeah.
Just shut everyone up, shut the situation down, fixed it, carry
Yep.
on, pretend
Carry
nothing
on.
happened, and
Yep.
there we go. Then
Yeah,
it just
no,
then
absolutely.
it just snowballs on you. It does not go away.
It
I used to always say, "Unresolved issues go unresolved," and once you leave those unresolved issues unresolved long enough, you got a big problem,
you had a really big problem.
and
Yes.
I was in that big problem. Almost
Yep.
cost me my life, so
Yeah.
not worth it.
Not worth it anymore. Mm-mm.
There's so much information out there now. There's so much help,
Yep. Yep.
take it and run, seriously.
Yeah, reach out and ask for help, right? Don't try
Yep,
to do it on your own.
exactly, especially from people that have been through it. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been there, done that, came out the other side.
Yep. So
Good
it's,
stuff. Yeah.
Susie with a Z
Yeah, and if
podcast
anyone wants to find me,
show.
Suzie with a Z podcast show on YouTube. Also Instagram, Spotify, which I have to upload stuff on, we're working on it,
Yep.
and TikTok.
Oh, TikTok too. Okay. Is that
Yeah,
new?
but it just like I'm just starting to production is helping me get everything
Yep.
over there, so it's a work in progress, but it's moving along.
And it's Susie with a Z podcast
Yeah.
show on YouTube.
Yes. Mhm.
Got it. All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank
So,
you again as always,
thank you, Warren,
and,
and I will
we'll see you next week.
catch up with you next week. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds
Have a
good.
great week. All
Okay.
right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.